Deeds, not words. Acta non verba. That's what it means. Deeds, not words. Philosophy wasn't this thing you talked about, something you did. Especially to the Stoics. I have a sign on my wall right here, a quote from Marcus Aurelius that I try to look at multiple times a day. He says, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man is like, just be one." Epictetus said it even tighter. He said, "Don't talk about your philosophy, embody it." I'm Ryan Holiday. I've written books about Stoic philosophy. I've been lucky enough to talk about it to the NBA, the NFL, sitting senators, and special forces leaders. But Stoicism is not books about Stoicism. It's not talks about Stoicism. It's not videos about Stoicism. It's a way of life. It's things that you do. In today's episode, I want to give you some inspiring examples of the Stoics living by their own words. Acta non verba, showing that they mean the philosophy by how they live. This is basically the premise of Lives of the Stoics. How does a Stoic live, not what does a Stoic write or talk or think about? And so I hope these examples inspire you to add your own deeds to the history of Stoicism. One of the best stories in all of Stoicism comes at the founding of Stoicism. Zeno, he's this successful merchant. He comes from a long family of merchants, and he suffers a shipwreck and he loses everything. He washes up in Athens, he has nothing, and there he discovers philosophy. That's how Stoicism starts. And so reflecting on this journey, this thing that he never would have wished happening, changing the entire course of his life and now history, we wouldn't be talking had he not gone through this. He says, "I made a prosperous voyage when I suffered a shipwreck," meaning the worst thing that ever happened to him was actually the best thing that ever happened to him. And that's what a Stoic says. We don't control what happens. Bad stuff is going to happen, but we control how we respond to it. We control what we turn it into. And whatever it is, whatever metaphorical shipwreck you're going through, you can make it a prosperous voyage if you think about it that way. The Stoics have this line, they go like, if you don't know what port you're sailing towards, no wind is favorable. You have to know where you want to go. And this is really true even for successful people. Like if you don't know where your stopping point is, what you want your life to look like, now all of a sudden, you're in this wonderful, fortunate position where people are like, hey, you want to do this? You want to do this? They're offering you this. Do you want to take this amount of money to do this or more money to do this? And, if you don't know like what's important to you, what kind of work you want to do, what you want your life to look like, you end up defaulting to one of two things: what pays most or what are other people doing? Those are not the worst proxies in the world, like it's better than no proxy, but you can end up very far from what you actually want. And you'll only know that when you get there. So you have to have a very clear sense of where you're trying to go, or these things, these opportunities are really chances to get super off track. You got to blow your own nose. To me, that's the core idea of Stoicism. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody can handle this for you. You're not magically going to get better on your own. Your problems aren't going to solve themselves on their own. You've got to do it. You've got to make the changes. If you want to be beautiful, Epictetus says, make beautiful choices. Work on getting better. Focus on getting better. Focus on what you can do today. That's how you solve your problem. Step by step, action by action, as Marcus Aurelius said, that's how we improve day by day, by making the little choices, the little actions, not by waiting for other people to save us, but by blowing our own nose, getting active in our own rescue. You have to be strict with yourself, but tolerant with others. Marcus Aurelius struggles with this his whole life. It's why he writes about it in Meditations. He has these exacting high standards. He thinks that the right thing is not just everything, it's the only thing. And yet he works really hard to remind himself that it's called self-discipline for a reason. It's not a thing you get to project on other people. You don't get to go around insisting other people follow your standards, your code. And this is a thing that disciplined people have struggled with for all time. There's even a saying in ancient Rome, we can't all be Catos. Kobe Bryant went through the same thing. He couldn't wrap his head around the fact that not everyone else was Kobe Bryant. So this idea that we can be as strict with ourselves as we want to be, but we have to be tolerant and accepting and encouraging and forgiving of other people because they don't have the gifts we have. They don't have the drive that we have. Most importantly, They never agreed to sign up to the code or standards that we have set for ourselves. There's an amazing story about Marcus Aurelius. He didn't want to be emperor. In fact, when he's given the news, he's to be adopted by the Emperor Hadrian, he weeps because he thinks of all the bad kings of history. So Marcus was scared. Maybe he had a little bit of imposter syndrome like you and I have. But the night before he's to ascend the throne, Marcus Aurelius has a dream. And in the dream, he feels that his shoulders are made of ivory. And that's how he knows. He knows he's strong enough to bear the weight. He can carry the load. He can do this. And you have to know, you have shoulders of ivory too. You're stronger than you know. You're stronger than people think. You've got this. You can do it. You have shoulders made of ivory. We all do, because we've done the work, because we've been training, because we've been watching videos. We've been working up till this moment, and now it's here, and we're ready to do it. Marcus Aurelius writes to himself, he says, fight to be the person philosophy wants you to be. And I just love that so much. It's that Stoicism has this ideal for you to be someone who's resilient, someone who's strong, someone who's virtuous, someone who's kind, who cares about the common good, someone who isn't easily rattled, someone who's committed to bettering themselves. That's what Stoicism wants for you. That's what the Stoics have been writing about for centuries. That's what we do in these videos, in the Daily Stoic email. That's the ideal. But the question is, are you fighting for yourself? Are you fighting to be that thing? Are you striving today to get a little bit closer to that perfect ideal? Are you fighting for yourself? The Stoics can't make you be or do anything. They can just lay out the formula, but it's ultimately on you to follow it, to step up and actually be it. That's what I want you to think about today. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe. But what I really want you to subscribe to is our daily Stoic email, 1 bit of Stoic wisdom, totally for free to the largest community of Stoics ever in existence. You can sign up at dailystoic.com/email. There's no spam. You can unsubscribe at any time. I love sending it. I've sent it every day for the last 6 years, and I hope to see you there at dailystoic.com/email.